I'm Bruce Harters, and this is Voices in the Village. Today we have with us Phil Doran, a 10-year veteran of the Laguna Woods and 35 years in show business as a producer and writer in beautiful downtown Hollywood. Phil, thanks for coming and welcome to Voices in the Village.
Well, thanks, Bruce. Thanks for inviting me, and welcome back to the Village. I know you've been living other places, but it's good to have you back.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, you know, it's been about 2 years that we got together behind the good old camera.
Wow, 2 years.
What have you been up to all this time?
I think I was in a coma. I don't remember 2 years passing, but well, what I'm doing currently is really, I think it's very interesting. I'm doing a project through the Video Club here. And just to back the story up a little bit, my son works in reality television. And he and I were talking about ideas. We came up with, that's an interesting idea for a show. And the way the reality world, TV world works is you make a 3-minute sizzle reel, which is kind of like a movie trailer if you go see a movie. Because of course no one has the attention span to actually sit through a 25-minute show or read a script. So you got to show them, bam, 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 this is it, and hope it cuts through the haze. And so we were talking about how to do this, and I said, well, you know, there's a TV studio here. And as I explored it, I was vaguely aware of it. I said, boy, this is an amazing operation. You have a sound stage, you have cameras, equipment, lights, sounding, switching boards. Got the whole thing. You have people who know how to operate them or anxious to do projects. And I said, let's do it here. And we did it here with some help from the people in the Video Club. And it turned out okay. It's currently being, you know, sent around to various production companies.
What is it you're doing here?
Well, what I'm doing here, after the sizzle reel we did sort of went on its way and went out in the world to see if there's a life to it. The Video Club asked me if I'd like to do another project through here, and they said, how would you like to do a situation comedy based on life in the village? I said no, because you have no idea how hard a sitcom is. It is just impossible. Even with the best writers around, it's awful. But I'll tell you what I will do. How about we do a senior version of The Dating Game right here in the village? Because what I've learned in my experiences with the senior world here is it's a very vibrant senior community here. And it's very underreported in terms of who these people are and what they're doing and how they live. And I think it'd be a wonderful insight into that facet of our life here. You know, our generation has reinvented aging across the board. And there's no reason why singles isn't also reinvented. And surely we are.
And of course, you were involved with The Dating Game 100 years ago. That must have helped you a lot in this development.
1785, I think it was. I was the first job I had in television. I was hired on The Dating Game.
Oh my God.
This is the original bag that I carried around. I schlepped around in 1967. Been sitting in my sister's basement for 45 years. And when I told her about I'm doing the show, she says, oh, I think I have your bag. So she sent it to me. And I called her up and I said, the first thing I said, well, what happened to the bag of marijuana that was in here? I never got an answer to that. But working on The Dating Game then was really a lot of fun. Right. It was, we're all young people, 20s and everything, and we were very counterculture. You know, even though we were working for a major television network, we consider ourselves sort of underground and hippies, you know, whatever. And so I'll never remember, there was a time when the president, they had a new president of ABC came on board, and he was in the West Coast viewing his empire. So he and his entourage came in to see The Dating Game. And so we're all sitting there, and we were a raggedy bunch. We're talking about 24-year-old guys, beards, long hair, fringe, necklaces, everything like that. And the president of ABC walks in and he's wearing a Brooks Brothers suit and he looks immaculate. And he looks at us and he says to his friend, he says, oh my God, hippies in high places.
Why do you think people like reality shows?
Boy, it's a good question. There's some reality shows out there that are so inane and so idiotic. You know, I can't imagine the brain activity of the people who watch them personally. But yet, in their defense, I have to say, as bad as some of them are, just as tedious as some of them are, there's a certain authenticity about this being real life. This is actually, it's not writers, it's not acted, it's not it's basically a slice of life, and people say, I know people like that, I am people like that, you know, and they're popular.
You have to sort of slice up this market of seniors here, don't you? I mean, by age groups. I mean, you need to get the guys and the gals together, kind of fit the same age group.
Yeah, and playing the game, that's one of the considerations. And we face a kind of a demographic problem, in that there are more single women in this village than there are single men, which is good news for the men, but not so much for the women. But one of the tasks that we really embarked on is to find out what is the size of the single demographic in this village. Do we have enough people here to support us doing an episode a month or 12 episodes a year or something like that? I have to say the reception from the people in a community so far has been wildly enthusiastic. I have a staff of almost 24 people.
Wow.
To do this show, all volunteers. And parenthetically, everyone related to the show, both in front of the cameras as contestants and behind the cameras as production, we are all residents of the village. There are no ringers, no outsiders.
There are a lot of Hollywood people in this.
A lot of Hollywood, ex-Hollywood people who miss it and want to do it, not so much maybe every day, but
right.
You know, this kind of thing. And the community around has also been very supportive. We've had people, a number of places step up to offer us prizes, like, and you know, we're gonna show that after the game is played, we're gonna show their first date.
So what are the breakdowns age-wise?
We have 55 to 65, 65 to 75, 75 to, you name it. And
now you've only shot one group so far, right?
We've shot one game so far.
One game.
There's the hour. Channel 6 gave us an hour to fill, and we feel we could do 3 games in that hour. And so we've got one of the 3 shot, and it's a traditional kind of one man asks 3 women, and all in about 55, 65 age range. But we also are planning a show with all hundreds.
Wow.
So. That's going to be really fun.
How often? What's your goal into how many times a week or a day or a month or whatever you want to? What's your goal in trying to get how many shows out there at a time?
My goal is to do consistently quality shows, and that'll only last as long as we have contestants. And I know that we put a push on to have people come in for a casting call and meet us, and many did, but many didn't. And I think that once the show gets on the air and people say it's fun, and I want to be part of this, I think we'll get more contestants, and we'll have a better idea how long can we sustain this.
Is it more difficult to get men than women for the show?
It seems to be. The men we've gotten are really happy, enthusiastic about it, but a lot of men are like, oh, I don't know, you know, they're going to make a fool out of me, or am I going to look foolish or something? But you're not. Mm-hmm. You're going to come on, you're going to have a good time, you're going to meet some really lovely women, and maybe go out with one. So it's a win-win.
So that'd be plus.
That'd be
a big plus.
That'd be a big plus, yes.
Well, how do you expect to promote the show so people know, you know, where you are and when to watch?
Well, we're planning a publicity campaign, and it's going to be geared around the time when the show's ready to be aired. You know, nothing is more infuriating when they launch a big advertising campaign. Everybody gets excited about a product. You go there and it's not in the stores. So this has to all be synced together. We're hoping to air maybe in February. We'll know better in a couple of months when we finish the episode. But we will have a full court press in terms of in the Globe on Channel 6. We'll have flyers, skywriters, every form of communication, tweeters, Google, everything. We'll let people know, Facebook, all the various ways we can do it. PCM is very interested in helping us publicize it. The Globe, Jennifer Carmarker and Barbara Potter has been really, really supportive of it. And as I wanted to also say that merchants around the area are very supportive. We've gotten coupons and vouchers from the 19th Restaurant, from Moulton Park Auto Spa, from BJ's, from Titanium, all wanting to have us eat dinner at their place or as consolation prizes. So,
you know, it really sounds exciting, and I think once people out there know about it, they're really going to start rallying around it. And there's no question, Phil, we're going to have you back in a few months after you've got a few more bruises on you. And by the way, do people get embarrassed doing on that show?
You know, it's a funny thing that having worked both ends of the spectrum here, there's a real difference between this game being played by 20 and 30-year-olds and this game being played by 60 and 70-year-olds. 20 and 30-year-old people are kind of concerned about how am I coming off, do people like me, what should I say? By the time you get to our age, we don't care.
That's right.
Say, I'm old, I can say whatever I want.
That's right.
And the gameplay is so funny because people are so frank about things.
Yeah.
So,
well, Phil, thanks so much for coming by. And for all you out there, I hope you come back again. This is Bruce Harders with Voices in the Village, and you come back soon. Bye now.